your Twitter post from a few days ago. Now, after the AEW Collision show this past Saturday, CM Punk held aloft a fan-made sign. I think it was a fan-made sign. I can't imagine he made it himself, but who knows. Reading, support LGBTQ plus youth. You then tweeted the following. Is this a wise move involving a political issue on a wrestling show? I guess the issue that Bud Light and Target have had with the LGBTQ topic has not reached AEW. This shot didn't make the show, but the photo is still there. Comments, WSI_YouTube. That's me. So, people were looking at this like some sort of massive attack, not the band, but a huge attack on the gay plus community. And not, I believe that was not your intention.
No. I think they associated the Target boycott and the Bud Light boycott with what I was saying. Because people tune into wrestling. Now, this picture did not make the show, by the way. And if you think about that, I don't think it would have made the show because I think they would have edited it out because they apparently have more sense than CM Punk. Well, not more sense, but I don't think they would have showed it. CM Punk can believe whatever he wants to believe. And I do believe in equality for everyone. But when I put that Twitter up, everybody jumped to all kind of conclusions. Oh, I hate gay people. I don't hate gay people. I got gay friends. They make a joke about it. We laugh about it. I don't care. But everybody got all upset. Oh, you piece of this and this and that. Now, listen, you can express, this is what I'm thinking. You can express your views, but yet when I express mine, oh, you shouldn't do that. Some people went as far as call it a hate crime. How is it a hate crime? I don't get it. I don't get it. Because the First Amendment of our Constitution guarantees my freedom of speech. I've seen a lot of things that I don't think should be allowed. And one thing is I don't think somebody should get in a policeman's face and just cuss him like a dog. I don't believe that. But
I don't get the reference there. When did that happen?
What, people get in the police face?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, all the time. They'll just get right up and call them a SOB and a MFer and this, that, and the other and blah, 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 and go on. And the cop has to stand there and take it. And you know how, and it would be hard for me to take that. It'd be hard for you, I think, anybody to take that. Mm-hmm. But I think people sometimes are out of control. But the good part about this is I got 3.2 million views on my Twitter and 1,730 or 40 comments, which means that the people are watching, and I'm glad for that. But listen, there's no animosity between me and the LGBTQ crowd at all. And what I was trying to say is, the people who don't like that, if they showed it on the show, they may stop merchandise. So who are you really hurting? If they stop buying tickets and watching, AEW is hurting themselves. And I want AEW to continue. I think they had a good show. Their first show on Collision was well booked, well executed. And I like the announcers. I like the look of the show. It looks just like a toned down Raw, really. But they did a good job with it.
We will, I'm going to say a few things then. So I think the sign held aloft wasn't particularly controversial or anything like that. It might as well have said, just support your fellow person, basically. It was sort of like a very generalized platitude. And fairly innocuous in what it was. To sort of maybe crystallize maybe your point. I mean, don't tell me if I'm getting the point wrong. Is that when a company makes a stance, and I actually did some research on this as well. If a company makes a stance, then it's always going to upset somebody, etc., or at least for the most part. And then with the Bud Light issue, I think they did. There's an old phrase where it says "go woke, go broke," right? And then there's just like some research into it. And the reason why Bud Light sort of suffered so much is because they flip-flopped. It's like they had, I can't remember the model's name they had on the can, whatever it was. And then they sort of started apologising when there was backlash. And then their stock went down and people stopped buying it. Whereas other companies have seen, what is it, Colin Kaepernick? The guy who knelt down for the NFL anthems. Was it that guy? Kaepernick, sorry. And I think,
he's not playing.
No?
People don't like him because, to me, I think on a wrestling show at a football game is the wrong place to politic, because I think people watch wrestling as an escape. They want to forget the guy got killed down on the corner. They want to forget those guys were in that submarine, that submersible. They want to forget that their grandmother died 2 months ago. They want to get away from real life and enjoy themselves. But all of a sudden, you slam it back into their face, and then their joy may not be gone, but it is lessened if they don't agree with it. So why even mess with it? A lot of people just took that wrong and came on Twitter. Oh, yeah, they roasted me. I don't care. And like I said, they have their beliefs. I have mine. And if you don't agree with it, don't follow me or don't reply to me. Replies is POS and all that. I don't know. It didn't affect me at all.
With that being said, politics and wrestling have gone hand in hand since almost pro wrestling was a thing. You know, from the Japanese and the Russians onto, and this is all xenophobia based and nationalistic based as well. Even you, Zeb Colter, that was very heavily politics as well. So where's the line in that?
I don't think anybody for the Zeb Colter thing, it was a political theme. And they put it out there for a joke, really, I think, thinking everybody would hate me. And I've told this story before. And I would go out there night after night and feel those people. I could check the temperature of the room as I was going through the crowd. And about half of them were supporting my message, and half of them weren't. So what was I? Was I a baby face? Was I a heel? Even the agents used to tell me, oh, the people are going to hate you. And I would think to myself, because don't disagree with them, because you can be too smart for your own good. I would always say, yeah, man, they hate me out there. I never disagreed with them. But as it went along, no, I had more and more people kind of supporting me than not supporting me. And whatever they intended for it to do kind of backfired just a little bit. And they actually ended up kind of turning us babyface against, who's the Russian guy's name?
It's Miro now.
Miro.
I can't remember. Yeah. Rusev. There we go.
Russo, or whatever he was. But
you wouldn't have to work hard to get people to boo Vince Russo.
No, not Russo. What was his name?
No, it's Rusev.
Rusev, that's it. Yeah. And we would go, and they pushed Rusev till the cows come home. And he got over. But I bet you Jack never won a match against Rusev. Never. I think he won. No, I take that back. He won one in Jacksonville, but it wasn't on. It was recorded, but it was
tribute for the troops, wasn't it?
Tribute for the troops, and it's kind of hard to beat an American against a Russian on that, so they didn't do it.
I've got a theory
So,
for
go figure.
you. I've got a theory for you. So if a wrestling personality is going to do something political, they have to be a bad guy, because then if they get comebacks on it, essentially you were meant to boo them anyway. And if they're cheered by a certain section, then it doesn't matter. Whereas if it is a good guy doing political stuff, then you run far more risk of backlash.
Oh, yeah, you do. As a good guy, wanting everybody to like him. If he does a political issue, he don't want to turn one fan in that crowd on watching on TV against him. But the heel has much more room to roam around in. And if he wanted to, he could bring it back in one interview. He could stop it all. But I really enjoyed doing the Zeb Colter gimmick. I really did. And it was easy to write for. I would get this like a piece of paper like this. That was my interview, which I hated because I never followed it anyway. But I would go out there and I'd basically hit the bullet points and move on. And nobody said one word to me about that. Not even Vince. And Vince sits there and he reads the paper like, oh, he should have said this, he should have said that. He never said one word to me about it. So I guess my longevity in the business kind of influenced Vince, because I think he respected that I'd lasted so long in this business, which is almost unheard of. So anyway, it was mutual respect between both of us.
Yeah. To sort of crystallize everything, you weren't criticizing the message, you were criticizing a public, it's not publicly traded, but it's a public company taking a stance on an issue when it can divide certain fans. Okay, one more thing I want to mention about AEW Collision. You said that Collision would do maybe 1.1 million or something like that, and I said 830,000. And guess what? And this is before I knew you, I also said that AEW Dynamite on their first show would be 1.4 million, and it was exactly 1.4 million. I am the greatest predictor of television ratings for AEW TV shows ever.
You're Nostradamus.
I am. I'm a prognosticator.
You've predicted the future. But it did 816,000 views.
Yep,
viewers.
14,000 off. I'm considering that a win.